Hey YouTube, this is Steve from IDP Plus, and I'm here for your Week 8 IDP Waiver Wire. Now, of course, this is a sneak peek to my article that I've got for the IDP Plus website. That way you guys can obviously go into more of a deeper dive. But these are 5 players that I believe you should consider grabbing for Week 8 of the NFL season. Hopefully you guys had a successful week. Hopefully you guys had, again, an outstanding week. No injuries. There were a lot that's happened this weekend, and obviously ready for Week 8. Now, with that said, again, these are 5 players. I'm going to talk defensive tackle, defensive end, linebacker, and defensive back. So, of course, if you need some more information, make sure you guys go to our website at idpplus.com. And, of course, if you guys are new, make sure you guys obviously subscribe to the channel. There are some great content I'm pushing on YouTube. Obviously, you can always subscribe to the website as well to get even more access, even access to our Discord to have questions answered for your tough lineup questions. And make sure you guys are using the code word PROPS at the checkout to get 20% off your membership on the website. So, jumping into it, again, make this simple. Defensive tackle. Vita Vea is probably somebody I really think you should consider. He's not obviously your typical normal defensive tackle. He is a bruiser. He can get after the quarterback. Like right now this season, he's got 3 sacks so far. He's been able to make some big plays with tackles. He's kind of that D2 type of tackle. Like he's going to be some of that, maybe it's a bye week fill, maybe someone you can put in for a deeper stash type of league. But I do like what Vita Vea has done this season. It's just his best season so far as fantasy points go. He's a point full higher averaging so far this year at 5.4 points compared to last year, which was about 4.5 points a game. So he's obviously improved. He is a big piece to this Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. He's always been able to make some negative plays behind the line of scrimmage, especially because the Bucs typically are ahead of their opponents, which allows Vita Vea to really get after the quarterback. So I really like him as a great waiver wire ad this week. Now, keeping into that defensive front, the defensive edge that I think is going to be a good piece you should add is going to be the Buffalo Bills' AJ Epenesa, who has been fantastic this season. Right now, and he's had an amazing 2 weeks where he's had 3 sacks in those 2 weeks, 7 total tackles, and 2 forced fumbles. So he's been a beast. And I think what has really helped him, obviously having Ed Oliver and Greg Rousseau on that defensive line, obviously gives him really one-on-one blocks, right? He's not getting double teamed. He's not getting, chipped by the tackle or a tight end or running back. Like he's not getting the full force, right? Oliver and Rousseau has been like the biggest contributing factors. And I think with Epenesa, he has the ability to obviously be even a bigger play. Right now, he's probably more of a deeper stash, but he's definitely somebody you want to consider even putting on your radar because he has been very successful, especially the last 2 weeks. And because he's not the main focal point when it comes to this defensive, front, he's able to get away with some things. And again, he's absolutely crushing and he's outpacing his 2023 season, which he had 7 sacks. He's doing a great job this season. He's, again, a name that you should consider adding just because, again, whether it be deeper or some bye week fills, because bye weeks are going to start really ramping up. I think he's definitely worth a grab. Now, jumping into the linebacker spot, I'm going to mention one linebacker here who definitely deserves some love, which is going to be Nakobe Dean for the Philadelphia Eagles. Look, he's finally coming into his own, right? He's really showing off why he was drafted in the 2022 third round. Like he had some struggles his rookie and sophomore year, but he's really coming into his own. Right now, he's linebacker 16 for the season so far, and he's making like really hard to sit him. Like he's a linebacker 2 with some linebacker 1 upside. And so with that said, in week 7, he had a great game. He had finished with 11 total tackles, 2 sacks, and 4 quarterback hits. So depending on how your scoring goes, he probably put up close to 20 points for you. Now, if you're looking for a linebacker who's going to be really focused on the tackling side, he's, again, more of a linebacker 2. He's not going to be the guy who's going to put up, 12 to, 10 to 12 tackles consistently in a game. But he has the ability, depending on what the matchups look like, what the game script looks like, things like that. But being that he's linebacker 16 so far for this season really puts him as a good situation where he should be starting him like every single week at this point. And the fact that he's not being picked up or he's still available in a lot of leagues, it's kind of a criminal type of thing because Nakobe Dean has deserved that and he's been fantastic. Now, jumping into the defensive back, I've got 2 players that I want to mention. The first one's going to be Damar Hamlin for the Buffalo Bills, the man who really has beaten all odds with what happened, in the recent years with him. We all know what happened, and it's great that he was able to, come back from it, and he's really shining right now for the Buffalo Bills. Look, a lot of injuries have happened. The Bills defense has completely changed. Micah Hyde's gone, Pryor's gone. Like, there's a lot of changes, and Damar Hamlin's been finally given the opportunity to really shine, and he's done a great job. In week 7, he finished with 5 total tackles. He had an interception, and which is the second of the career, which obviously is this year as well. He's, again, really showing up. Right now, he's defensive back 13 for the season, which, again, puts him in that fringe defensive 1. Absolute defensive, back 2 for sure, again, in your lineups. But he's not rostered in many leagues, which is kind of interesting because I don't know if it's just his name or he's not popping off, like he's not having games that are just like absolutely outstanding, but he's very, very, very consistent defensive back. He's right now, again, averaging just above 7 points per game. He's been getting tackles. He's been getting a couple interceptions. Like, he's been very consistent. He's probably one of the consistent players on the Buffalo Bills just because he has not been injured. Hopefully he does not. But again, definitely worth a waiver wire grab this week. And the last player I want to mention as a good waiver wire going to be is Marlon Humphrey for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, Marlon Humphrey unfortunately did have to leave the Monday night game against the Buccaneers due to a knee injury. Now, we don't know the extent of it. We'll have to kind of keep an eye on it, but he is definitely worth a grab, especially if he does end up, coming back from this game and going to week 8. With that said, prior to leaving the game, he had 2 interceptions against Baker Mayfield and 2 solo tackles. Right now for the season, he's got 4 total interceptions with those 2 interceptions. He's got 33 tackles. He's averaging around 8 points a game. He's been fantastic. And right now he's been a very solid DB2 that you should put up in your lineup. He's, again, moving slowly up into the rankings. He's starting to kind of come back into his own because Humphrey's always been a really good defensive back. He's always been somebody who's been able to make some plays. And realistically, I talked about this on, the Trends podcast with Johnny. One of the things I talk about in there is the fact that this year, cornerbacks have been way more effective than safeties. And traditionally in the defensive back role, safeties have been kind of the bread and butter when it comes to this. This year, cornerbacks have been really dominated, whether it be because of interceptions or you've got some great cornerbacks in the league right now who aren't afraid to make tackles on the edge. And I like Humphrey a lot. I think he should absolutely be considered in your waiver wires because he is available and he's been playing fantastic. Hopefully his knee injury is not too serious. He doesn't miss time going forward. But again, he did leave the game. I don't have a lot of information right now of what's going on. So just got to keep an eye on that. So those are my 5 players that I think you should consider grabbing for week 8. If you guys want to check out even more content, make sure you guys go to idpplus.com. I've got my article there. I've got even more players I want to mention there. Again, this is kind of a preview to kind of get you in the game. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Hit that like button. Go check out the website, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you for watching the IDP Plus YouTube network. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Be sure to tap the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new content.